well, Heather, let's jump to it. We are 1 minute after our start time, so we're going to just go ahead and jump in here. And I always like to tell people why I chose the person that I chose. Heather, when did we meet? Do you remember?
I was actually trying to think about that the other day. I feel like we met at one of my first Gary masterminds in Austin, maybe 3 years ago. Is that it?
I'm not really sure the first time. We definitely met there. And then we also met at Simon's event in New Jersey.
We did. I feel like that's when we really connected for the first time
Yeah.
yes.
I think we had met before, but then at that mastermind, like I actually just spoke at that last week, and I told Simon, I said that was the most pivotal mastermind for me. Like that was where I really started to get to know people at a high level, like yourself, and that it was the most influential event that I have been to.
Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It was really fun. I love that event. Anyway, so Heather and I were on a luxury panel in New Jersey speaking in front of like 100 and 150 people, and really got to know each other through dinner and things like that. And that's not why I picked her for today. I picked her for today because when I grow up, I want to be like Heather, even though I'm older than her, but don't tell anybody. But when I grow up, I want to be like Heather. She is literally one of my idols. I love her so much on every level. She's a great mom. She's a great business leader. She's a great person. She's a great friend. So no pressure, Heather. You got to live up to all that. But no, she's amazing. So I wanted to bring her on. And the list goes on and on and on of all the amazing things that she's done. So I don't know that we're going to touch on every single one of them today because we don't have a whole day. But I think that we can all learn a lot from her from a luxury standpoint and from even on a personal level, we can learn so much from her just as being a good human being. So here's Heather. I think everybody knows Heather already. Madeline, can you pin the speakers? Madeline's my behind the scenes gal today. She's one of my team members, but on my end, I'm just seeing the whole gallery. Is that a me problem?
I see the whole gallery too. But that was so sweet of you. Thank you, Sandra. I would say ditto to all of that for you too.
Oh, you're so sweet. And Heather, okay, so I'm just going to tell you something a little weird. One time I came to one of your classes to watch you present, because that's one of the things that I'm always trying to get better at. And I came to your class literally just to watch you present, to learn how you kind of work the room, because you do an amazing job at that.
Thank you. Thank you. It's funny. My husband and I were like, where did I get my passion for public speaking? And I remember being in college at the University of South Florida, and I had a professor that, I had to do a ton of public speaking because my degree was in marketing. And he said to me, he goes, if you hone that skill, you'll learn to own a room. And that was something that really hit me hard. And so I dove into how can I be the best public speaker and engage with my audience? And I love it. I mean, I travel all over now doing it, and it's super impactful, if you really love it and you can hone that niche.
Well, you took it to heart for sure.
I did. Yeah. I just got announced as a speaker for one educator for a few the largest MLS boards in the US. So I'm going to start in 2025 being on their speaker series.
Wow, that's great. They're very lucky to have gotten you.
Oh, it's fun. I love it.
Awesome. So let's just give a little background. Let's start kind of from the beginning. Well, let me start at the end and then we'll start at the beginning again. For those who are on here, we do have people on here that are not all KW. So we've got some other companies and we've got people from across the globe. We've got brand new agents. We've got senior agents. We've got a good mix of people. So Heather, currently you have a large team of over 50 agents. Is that correct?
So I have, my team is actually much smaller now. So I have a team of 22 agents. And then I kind of pivoted because I became a luxury market center. So within my luxury market center now, I have over 60 agents on that side.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah, she just keeps growing and expanding and getting bigger and bigger. She's going to take over pretty soon, everything. So let's backtrack. Let's kind of go back to the beginning. What got you into real estate? Like, what was that one thing, or like, how did you end up even starting real estate?
Yeah, so for me, it kind of happened by accident. I grew up military, and so we never really had, I would say, the best of everything, but we always made what we had wonderful and beautiful at a very budget-friendly way. And so for me, home was always really, really important. And when I was in college, I had to pay my way through college. And the best way to help me pay the way through college was to get free rent. So I worked as a leasing consultant for an apartment complex so I could get discount rent. And what I found, what I was doing is I fell in love with that. I became their top salesperson. I ended up managing the entire complex. I think we had like 400 units. I ended up managing it, and I would go in as my side hustle, and I would help people design their apartments. And I just loved it. And so, really, out of college, I got my real estate license and actually started flipping houses for myself. I wasn't. I wasn't helping clients, but what quickly happened where people were seeing what I was doing, they're like, "Wow, she's young and she's like actually like crushing it." And so, and then it turned into a referral business, and then my business kind of just grew organically out of referrals.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You were so young, getting in so early. So where did how did it start in terms of, how do you buy the first one? How did you even get started? You're young, you don't have money. How did you do
Yeah,
that?
leverage. Yeah, so my first house was $75,000. And it was in Dallas, Texas, actually in a town called Frisco. So if anyone's a Texas person, it was in Frisco, Texas. And it was terrible. I mean, it was so ugly, but ugly is my jam. So I bought it and I did it all myself. I put in the flooring myself. I took out the wallpaper. I did all of it and I flipped it. I remember it was like I flipped it for 145, and then I would take that profit and I just kept putting it into the next, putting it into the next, putting into the next. And I remember when I met my husband, he had a house and I was like, listen, you don't know me that well. We were dating and I was like, just give me 20 grand and I'll take your 20 and I'll turn it into 80. And he was like, what? And so I did it and he was like, whoa. And then he got the bug. And so then we started and then still to this day, I mean, we move usually every 2 to 3 years. And, we have houses all over, yeah, now in the US. And yeah, so it's really fun. I mean, it's a passion of mine. What I tell people to do, I believe it and do it myself.
Mhm, mhm. What a
Yeah.
great way to start, because like the ins and outs, what it takes to renovate a house, what the costs are. How to manage, how to purchase things, how to do the whole process. So you really rolled up your sleeves and got dirty.
Well, I got into the industry, in Texas when it was real bad. I mean, we had with everything, so short sales, foreclosures. I mean, that's basically what I did for a good 2 years. So I feel like that was actually a huge blessing for me because I learned grit in our industry right out of the gates. Nothing came easy. Every sales process was long, tons of negotiations with banks, and I had to get like fierce in negotiations to win. And I feel like that was pivotal for how I kind of have been able to embrace not only the rest of my career, but also coach and train agents to do the same.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
do you think that obviously that took a lot of tenacity?
Yes.
Do you think that's something that is kind of natural with you, or do you think that's something that you grew as you got into the business?
I was a shy child. So I think tenacity is comes from confidence. And I think that as I became more confident in myself, my tenacity grew too, right? But tenacity and confidence come from practice and doing a skill over and over and over again, right? So for me, that was I'm like queen of consistency and queen of like repetition. So I feel like that's kind of where the tenacity came into play, is because I have a lot of confidence in what I do now.
I love that. And I think that, where a lot of people it falls short is that they don't want to do the thing that's uncomfortable.
Oh, I mean, I live in my uncomfortable zone.
I love that.
Yeah, if you want to have a big life, stay uncomfortable.
Exactly. Do you have an example of where, maybe you fell short early on, but you learned a lot from it? Do you have a story that maybe you could share with everybody that
Oh
is not too
gosh.
embarrassing?
Oh, I mean, how much do you want to get into? Um, I mean, I'll just be completely transparent. I married my high school sweetheart, and he was someone who didn't like someone that was very confident. I ended up falling short in that relationship and getting divorced at a young age. And I feel like that fueled me to know that like I had to rely on myself, and I had to make sure that um I became confident in the woman that I am and didn't have to lean on anybody besides my faith and myself to create a bigger life, right? So I mean, that was at that time. I also got cancer through all of that too, and so I feel like that really shaped, I think, the person who I am and helped me grow more in my spiritual faith, which is directly related to my business.
Sorry, she was
So
flipping things around there. I'm sorry. You
yeah.
gave me the chills though when you started talking about having to do it on your own and not rely on anybody. I literally got chills when you were saying that. Because that's probably, why you are as strong as you are.
I bought those houses and flipped all of that right out of a divorce, while I also had 4 different surgeries for skin cancer. And, I learned that, like, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is health. And if you have that and you have your faith, you can pretty much do anything. But I'm so grateful I went through it, because it gave me confidence and it gave me strength and it gave me tenacity. Yeah.
Well, you are definitely all of those things. So, I'm sorry you went through all that, but you definitely came out an amazing person. So
Oh,
if
thank
if
you.
that's
Thank
what it
you.
took to get here, then
I'll
it,
take it. I'll take every bit of it.
yeah. All right, so let's jump ahead a little bit. So you obviously got into real estate. You were everything you touch, you do amazing at. So what is your biggest passion, like along the way? And it could be something that happened in the beginning versus it doesn't have to be something today. It could be something that
Yeah.
happened along the way.
For me, I love building teams. I love helping people grow in their profession and also thinking bigger, right? So I feel like my gift probably for the last 10, I became a real estate broker about 14 years ago. And I feel like that's my passion. My passion is helping people that are in that $5 to $10 million production kind of think outside of the box and grow into that 20 million mega agent opportunity. So I've had the privilege of coaching hundreds of agents over the years, and that's what my real passion is just seeing that growth in them, not
Mhm.
only just in the business, but also personally.
It's very rewarding to watch other
So
people blossom underneath you or, around you. And I don't know that everybody gets that same, when they see that that's what's making you blossom, but it doesn't always work for everybody.
yeah.
I agree with you. I love that part too. And it's how many people can we help? How many more people can we add? You know, not that we necessarily want to be so big, but we want to be able to
Yeah.
affect more people's lives.
I think now with that, I will say it's also come heartbreak because you do build people and within your organization and they grow and then they leave. And then it can be devastating, right? So because they want to create their own identity, their own brand, you know, they feel they can do it on their own. And which I love, and that makes me so happy to do that, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to grow beyond just owning a real estate team. I wanted to have a luxury market center because I can help people grow and cultivate within the team. And then I can help them pivot into having their own team within the market center. So that's been kind of my next phase of growth within my business right now.
Heather, do you sleep?
I actually sleep great.
I don't know how you do. You are like in so many things. I have no idea how you sleep.
You know what? I have wonderful people, Sandra.
I know you do. You manage a lot, a lot
Yeah.
of things at the same time.
Yeah, I have great people that have been with me for many years. And I think that's the key to any success is having the leverage and the people
Mhm.
that can help support you and believe in your vision and your dream, right?
Absolutely. So let's roll it back to, we've got a lot of single agents on the Zoom. So let's roll it back to kind of, the beginning, not the very beginning, but where you started adding leverage. Can you talk a little bit about that for the agents that maybe are thinking about it and haven't done it yet?
Yeah, so I didn't really actually start leverage. So I started my career off in Keller Williams in Dallas as a single agent. I actually left Keller Williams and went to a smaller boutique brokerage, and then kind of became one of their top producers in a small brokerage. But it wasn't until I had my first child that I ended up getting help on the transaction management kind of assistant buyer agent, having, because I was always really focused on leads for listings, but out of listings, you get a lot of buyers, right? So that was kind of my first pivotal is when I became a mom. And when I became a mom is when I really wanted to have the leverage to grow. And that's kind of when I started to grow a team from there. And then I became a broker and started my brokerage when my youngest was 6 months and my oldest was 3 years old.
Wow.
So, but the beginnings was just a TC transaction manager. And then after I kind of started getting more and more business, I would say once I hit that like 20 million, 25 million is when I then got a buyer agent to help me. Yeah. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
And then you made a move from Texas to Florida.
I did. Do you want to know how that happened?
Tell us about that. Yeah, I mean, that's not your typical. Actually, we had Drew on last month when you had the hurricane, unfortunately. So Drew was our guest, and now he's kind of done the same thing, right? He went from California to Florida as well.
Yeah. So I actually never thought I would ever leave Texas. I always say I got to Texas as fast as I could because I grew up military. But my husband and I came to Naples, Florida on a business trip for his company, and we completely fell in love. But we quickly realized that we were definitely not at the caliber of income that is needed to buy the kind of house that we would want to buy in Naples, Florida. So there's more millionaires per square mile in Naples than Manhattan, So we realized we needed to get to work and really create more wealth if we wanted to move to Naples. So we kind of took 2 years and we flipped a bunch of houses in Texas. I really became focused on my real estate career, but we would always watch online auctions. And there was a property that came online that was an online auction that was close to the water. It was a builder that was foreclosing on it, and they screwed up the square footage. So this area in Naples, homes sell for about $1,200 a square foot. And the bank actually listed it for 1,300 square feet smaller than it actually was. And so I did all of my due diligence, and I told my husband, I'm like, we got to bid on this house. Like, you could walk in with insane equity because the bank screwed up. I for sure thought that a local, I thought that a local investor would snag it. And so, but we did an online bid and we got the house, but we had to close in 2.5 weeks.
Mhm.
And I had to do a simultaneous close between Texas and here. And we didn't have the funds at the time to be able to carry both. So I had to figure out how to list and sell my house in 2.5 weeks in McKinney, Texas, where nothing luxury had sold in over 300 days.
Wow.
So, but I obviously made it look gorgeous, put it on the market. I got a full price offer and wanted to do a 2-week close. It was the
Wow.
producer of Toy Story was moving from California, and they ended up wanting to do a quick close. And like literally it was a total God moment because we were able to 2.5 weeks close and buy that house in Florida.
Wow. Like it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Yeah. Now, what I left out was the house was disgusting. It had like dead squirrels in it, frogs in it, like you name it. It was disgusting. So we had to completely remodel because I bought it sight unseen.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah,
But you were up for the challenge.
always, always. Thankfully, I have a very patient husband.
Yeah, yeah. Spouses are, I feel bad for spouses that are married to us crazy realtors, right? It's definitely a different lifestyle for sure.
Well, looking back at it though, since we're talking luxury, I'll share it with you. We bought it for 1.4, and in 4 years we were able to sell it for 4.8. So I would say
Wow.
it was a fantastic investment, right?
Wow.
So it's one of those where it's like, when there's an opportunity like that, you say yes. And so my
Mhm.
husband has learned, like when I say like we got to do this, he's
He
like,
knows.
okay, we got to do this.
Wow, that's a great story. I mean, that's a really big improvement, and that's a life changer.
Yeah, it's, the goal is, right, I didn't, my husband and I, neither one of us, were raised with wealth or anything like that. So the goal is to change the future legacy of our family. And those are opportunities that can do that.
Yeah, you're doing a
Uh,
great job.
yeah, I'm trying.
So what do your kids think? Do they want to get into this crazy real estate world too when they get older?
It's interesting because so now my girls are 13 and 16. The 16-year-old, I'm pretty confident she'll become an architect. She just always has been obsessed with architectural, especially with owning an interior design company. So, and then I feel like my youngest will be, she's gonna be like a social media, probably like marketer. Like the girl can sell anything. So I have one that's got like that very analytical brain, and then I have another one that's super creative.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I feel like they'll fall all underneath
Yeah.
the brands that we're building. So there'll definitely be a lane for them for whatever they want to do in the future, if that's their choice. But I always say, spread your wings and fly. Don't worry about what we're doing. Do what you love. And, if it falls into what we have, great. If not, no problem.
Yep. They can always come back too, right?
Yes. Yeah. 100%. I'm not
Yeah.
retiring anytime soon.
So you just touched on it. We haven't really gone there yet. You're obviously very famous for all of your interior design and staging and all of that. So I was kind of holding that off a little bit so we could learn a little bit more about Heather yourself.
Yeah.
But now let's do it. Let's jump into the design and all that because I know that is your passion.
Yeah.
Maybe managing or running teams is your first passion, but clearly the design stuff is your second passion.
Yeah, so design is one of those things I don't know if I would sell real estate without it. I've always it's kind of gives me that creative outlet. So it's interesting. I'll kind of share a little bit of the story behind it on kind of how it happened. So when I was an independent broker, and then when I moved to Keller Williams, I said to the person that recruited me, I said, listen, I will come to KW, but I will become the staging and design expert within Keller Williams. And I'm going to catch the eye of Gary, and he's going to want to do it. He's going to want to be a part of this. And she was like, wow, okay, that girl's super confident, but yeah, try it, go for it. So fast forward, about 3.5 years ago, I did, through being very tenacious, get to Gary. It did not happen overnight. It took me a lot of pathways to get in front of him. But I did, and he loved what I did, right? And so I actually, Style to Design is a tech platform that I created and built. I actually did launch it with Keller Williams. And then about 6 months into the launch with Keller Williams, Gary and I both came to the understanding that it wasn't really meant to be what's called a community. So Keller Williams had launched communities. And so we both decided, listen, he's still going to mentor me, help me, coach me through everything, but I wasn't going to be a KW community any longer. I was more of a tech platform. And so I actually spread my wings and flew, which then got me in front of the National Association of Realtors, and I became a top 10 tech tool for agents nationwide. So I officially mentor, coach, and people use my product in every state in the US now. I actually just got asked to pitch on Shark Tank next week.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's
I'm
exciting.
preparing my pitch for Shark Tank right now. But what's happened is we have hundreds of agents now that are crushing it. They're building additional revenue streams. They're winning insane listing opportunities, builder opportunities, investor opportunities by leveraging the platform of Style to Design, and then all the training. Our academy launches on Monday, which is Intense Academy on how to build out your value proposition, how to create your menu of services, how to create your tiered commission approach, and then how to focus on the lanes within real estate to win those opportunities by creating the niche values. So yeah, it's been really, really fun. So that's kind of how Style Design came about, and that's kind of where we're evolving to. We have artificial intelligence launching soon too. So we got a lot of really cool stuff that's going to be hitting next month for us.
And you're sure you sleep?
I do. Great. Yeah, I do.
I don't know how you do it, but that's amazing. And congratulations on being one of the top 10 techs. That's no
Yeah.
small task.
Yeah. I had so they did what's called the pitch battle. Any of them know, anyone here know? I don't know if you know about it, but the National Association of Realtors selects 10 companies all over the world every year that they believe are the top 10 emerging companies in the tech field for real estate agents. Then they put us all on stage and have us battle it out in front of a row of judges. And so that's what happened. I got second place. The first company was a complete AI company that so I didn't have AI at the time, so they won, and then I got second place. But that really helped catapult me into a lot of the MLS boards. So now all the MLS boards across the US are wanting to integrate Style to Design into their platforms. Yeah.
So when you first started with, the design aspect of it, obviously, you started off like anybody else. You didn't have a warehouse full of stuff. So how
No.
did you start? So for example, even just trying to get people to change out their 1970s comforter for, a white, clean look. Sometimes even that alone is challenging. So how did you get started, and how did you get the clients to take your advice?
Yeah, so first off, when I first started my staging company, I had no money. So what I would do is I would charge for the staging service, and I would charge half up front and half at closing. The half up front is the funds that I would receive from my seller that I would use to buy inventory. And then the half at closing, instead of using that half at closing as my profit, I just kept reinvesting it back into the staging business to build more inventory. So I've actually never personally ever invested my money into my staging company, and I have about $750,000 in staging now. It's always been, it took me about 4 years of reinvesting back in to build that out, but it's my value proposition that helps me win everything in my business, right? So let's talk about though how you have the conversation.
Yeah.
You want to have the conversation and you be the seller and I'm the agent?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do
Sandra,
it.
your house is gorgeous. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can tell that you have a lot of pride in home ownership and your house is designed perfectly for you and your family.
Yes, thank you. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. You know, one of the things that I do as an agent is I want to make sure that your home appeals to the broadest range of buyers because we know in sales it's a numbers game, right? When your home appeals to the most amount of people, we bring the most amount of people in, and the more demand we have, the better we can get when it comes to sales price and shortened days on market. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So what we want to do is there's a difference between design and there's a difference between staging. Design is a very custom personalized for yourself look, right? Which is exactly what your home is. But my job as your agent is to pivot that into staging. And staging is to appeal to the broadest range of buyers. So one of the things that we're going to want to do is kind of create a little bit of that neutral tone in the home. So that way the buyers can envision themselves living in the home, and not it necessarily being your home. Because once they can envision themselves living in the home, you're going to see that we're going to have a much higher capture rate of buyers that are interested in your property. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Wonderful. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring some of those neutral things into your home just to kind of create the canvas that all buyers are going to love.
Okay.
So that is how we like kind of have the conversation to let them know without being offensive that
Right.
the stuff that they have in their house is designed for them, right? And
Right.
when it's designed for them, they have to understand that there's a very big difference between interior design and staging. And staging is something that we're the experts on, and we know what's going to sell for the highest ROI and shorten that days on market. So once we kind of have those conversations with the seller, their guard usually goes down and they're more open and receptive to new ideas.
Got it. And it's not about their stuff not being good or
Yes.
appropriate. It's more about just trying to make it more neutral and
Mhm.
attractive to different styles.
Correct. And I tell, every agent, listen, listings are your resume, right? What you put out is what you get back. And if you want to increase your sales price, if you want to dominate a farm area, you have to look at every listing. Like, does this represent my brand? And is this what I want to attract in my future business? And that is why staging can really help catapult, your price per square foot and also your referral network, based off of looking at every one of your listings as your resume.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what do you do with the client who just doesn't want to do it? They don't want to do staging and they dig their heels in.
Yeah. So no problem at all. I totally understand, which is why we created and invented what's called reality staging. This is where we can actually sell your home with design services included. What we do is we have professionally curated beautiful interior design boards, and we actually simulate those into your home. And the beautiful thing about it is everything we simulate with has a click to purchase solution. So that way the buyer, if they love the way it looks of the simulation, they can actually bring it to life in your house. This is called reality staging. It's very different than virtual staging. Virtual staging is kind of a letdown to a buyer because they see it online and then they can't actually create reality. It can't turn into realities, which is why we created and invented what's called reality staging. It's non-disruptive to you, and we use your professional photography pictures, and we use those with our design team to create those images for the buyers.
Great.
So that's why I invented reality staging, right? There's so many times where physical staging doesn't make sense. There's pets, there's, rowdy kids, the seller digs their heels in. And if listings are a resume and we want to show buyers the full potential of every property, because we know 81% of buyers have zero vision, they can't see past what's in front of them. So we have to be able to give buyers that visual perspective. And that's why I tried to find a company that would do it. No one would do it, which is why I invented it. And it's really, that's how agents across the country are going after expireds and FSBOs, and they're crushing it because I've curated like scripts on how to go out them and use these images to help secure additional listings.
Do you ever have anybody who digs in and says, you know what, I just don't think that's right. I want it to be my house the way it looks?
Yeah, absolutely. So the most important thing for that is just, the question that I always ask is, Sandra, I totally understand. Now, let me ask you this. Is your goal to maximize the sales price for your home?
Of course.
Okay. So if your goal is to maximize the sales price of a home, I'm going to share with you some statistics by the National Association of Realtors. So a home that is staged, decluttered, and depersonalized sells for 6 to 11% more than its marketed competition. So if we want to maximize profit, we want to go off the numbers that are proven. And those are some numbers that are proven. And if we know 81% of buyers have zero vision, when selling your home, do you want to capture 19% of buyers or 100% of buyers?
Definitely 100.
Yeah. So if you want to capture 100%, you want to maximize profit, I think we need to go off the proven stats, which are that if we do these decluttering, these cleaning, and some staging, we can go after that 6 to 11% and go after that 100% capture rate. But if we don't, then we have to understand what we're up against in this market.
Love it. So you're obviously very great at all of this conversation. How do you train your agents on your team or anybody who's using the program? How do you train them to do it the way you do it?
Yeah, so I built an academy. Everything you just heard me said is recorded. And I have literally a day-by-day academy. This is what launches on Monday. Now my team has that through my intranet. So I have what's called agentskwelevate.com where they can see it all. But I'm actually launching it for everybody now. So the academy will be basically every single day, kind of a video of myself of what to do. And then I also give all the templates of like, this is your text template, this is your email template, this is your newsletter template, this is whatever it is, and the tasks and the outline of how to do it, along with me explaining it and recording those conversations and scripting and role play so that you can be comfortable in the conversation as well.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really that part. So this last month I've been building out the academy. That has been so much fun. Like you don't realize how much you know until you like have to explain it all.
Right, right. And so who's helping you with that? Like, where do you even find the people that do this?
Yeah, so I have a gal that works for me that she is the one who has helped me launch my academy. And she's launched academies, like create learning platforms before. So she's the one who has kind of been, and I can show it to you guys. I actually have it pulled up if you wanted to see it. But she's been the one that's been helping me do that. And then we're also building out the affiliate program. Because right now, when we do a reality staged image, all the product that's click to purchase are affiliate links that the agent can then earn profit off of. So my goal is to help the agents earn additional revenue stream because when they simulate a rendering, they also earn profit off of it, right? So if the buyer executes that vision, they make money off of it. Well, then I realized, well, gosh, if I'm building affiliate for product, why am I not building affiliate for an agent that refers me to another agent? So the affiliate program is what's kind of tied into our academy. So anytime you refer anyone out, that agent can actually earn revenue off of it as well.
Wow, so many streams of income.
Yes, I love, like, have you read the book Innovation Stack?
Mm-hmm.
Did Gary, because Gary made me read it. Did he make you read it too?
I don't remember.
Okay. So Gary made me read the book and that changed my whole perspective. I was like, okay, I need to figure out every way I can help agents make money.
I love it. I love
So
it.
And it works, right? Yeah, it's been really fun. I mean, so that's my goal. It's like, okay, how do I help you make additional revenue streams? So that's part of the academy too, is to show the agents how to use it, how to learn how to implement your business, but then how to create revenue stacks in your business too.
Mhm. And so this is starting, you said it's
Monday.
Monday. And
Yeah.
is it like a monthly fee? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have two different programs that agents can do. We have the Kickstart and then we have the Elevate. So the Kickstart is $19.99 a month, and then the Elevate is $49.99 a month. The $19.99, they get access to reality staging, reality renovation, and then my academy. But it's a little more of a condensed academy. And then if they want to elevate to the next one, they're going to get like more marketing collateral, more templates, more scripts, that kind of stuff. So there's two different versions that they can sign up for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to open it up for some questions from the audience. But before I do that, do you want to just put your information in the chat? Like if they have questions, where do you want them to send them? Where do you want them to call? 'Cause I don't want to wait till the end because then people start dropping off and then they miss it. So let's go ahead and put it in there. And we have some questions in the chat already. Mary is asking if you have a link for the chat. I mean, a link for the academy.
Yes. So the academy launches Monday, but if what we're doing is we're doing pre-sales right now. So if you email info@styletodesign.com, you actually get my menu of services and my tiered commission approach template for free if you register before the launch day on Monday. So just so you know, so if you email info@styletodesign.com and you kind of reserve your spot, then you'll get my templates at no cost. And those usually cost $25.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see if anybody has any questions. Let me see if I can get into the chat. Okay. How would you suggest presenting the reality staging if the client doesn't want to fully stage it?
Yeah. So reality staging. Okay. Let me see. Is this Gil? How would you suggest presenting reality stage if the client doesn't want to stage it? Okay. Gil, would you like to go ahead and unmute yourself and let me role play with you?
Yep.
Would that be possible?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Gil. How are ya?
Hello. Good, good. I'm actually getting ready for a listing coming up, and it's like my first luxury one. So that's why I'm like curious if she doesn't want to move that route, how do I go about using services?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to be the seller. I'm the agent. Okay.
Okay.
So Gil, first off, thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here with you today.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course,
Yeah.
me too.
So one of the things that I'm really passionate about is investing in my clients' investments, which is why I have my own in-house design and staging team. Now, I want to make sure that when I'm saying that, Gil can say that if he's a member of Style to Design, right? So you're going to say, I have my own in-house design and staging team. So one of the things that is my job as your agent is to make sure your house appeals to the most amount of people. So that way I can capture and help raise the price per square foot for your home. Okay. And one of the ways we do that is by selling your home with design services included. So let me kind of share with you how it works. So please understand that this doesn't cost you anything, and also it's non-disruptive to you and your home. But what we do is we take the images of your home. My team has professionally curated beautiful design boards that are luxury, that we will actually simulate real life product into your images, so that way the buyer can get the visual of the full potential of your property. Now we can do this whether it's your kitchens, your bathrooms, we can do full renderings on renovations, and we can also just do furnishings. The great part about this, Gil, is I want to make sure that not only do they see those images online, but when they come in person, we'll have a beautiful book where they can actually flip through and see design ideas for their home that they can actually implement in real life. And please understand the book that I'm referencing to you, that template is part of my program. So I've already created the book that you would use to have at that appointment, right? And so the goal is when you're having that conversation with the seller is you want to make sure that they understand that you have your own in-house design and staging team, which you can confidently say you have that when you're partnered with us, right? And the two is that you're going to sell their home with design services included. So you're going to differentiate their home from the competition, right? And then use the stats by the National Association of Realtors that says 81% of buyers have zero vision. I'm going to make sure that we capture 100% of buyers by creating the vision so they can see the full potential of your property.
Okay.
One of the things that I love asking at the end of my conversations with sellers is, by any chance, did any other agents offer a solution to maybe overcome any objections when it comes to your home, of that maybe some things are original, like your kitchens and baths, or that they're going to have to redesign the space? Has anyone brought to you how they're going to do that? Ask that question, because they're going to always say no, usually, right? And this is a way that you can say, listen, I'm a proactive agent, not a reactive agent. I'm going to get ahead of all of my objections to make sure that I showcase your home in the best possible way by selling your home with design services included.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a wonderful way to kind of pivot. Like if you can't do, like, for instance, if you don't have your own staging company right now, Gail, or you don't have the money to invest in having a staging company, I would use this as leverage to kind of get you that image and look of having all of those tools in front of those luxury clients. And I will say it works. Like, I have a guy, Max, I think he's in Miami. He's close to you, Sandra. He emailed us over the weekend. He just got an incredible luxury listing, not over the weekend, last week, based off just that. He actually goes into listing appointments now. If it's an expired or a FSBO, because he can see what it looks like online, he goes and renders what it would look like renovated, and he brings that to the listing appointment to show them the power of hiring him as an agent, because he has his own in-house design team. And he's just doing that by you leveraging our platform.
What is, just curious, sorry, because I have the appointment. I've already seen the properties just to like see what we could do, and just to get a feel for the property. But I have the meeting on Friday, and like, what would the turnaround time be if I were to like join either today or tomorrow to get like some general, photos sent over and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it's 48 hours. So from the time that you submit a photo until we get them back to you, we are working really hard to speed up that time, which is when AI hits, we'll be able to do it much quicker.
Thank you,
Yeah, but
Heather.
even 48 hours, that's still a good turnaround.
If you hire an interior designer to create a design board and simulate a design board, on average, it takes 11 days. We're 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
We also have a guarantee that we have a 24-hour guarantee on every single product that we have. So if anything goes out of stock, we will redesign the board and get you a new board within 24 hours. And so our agents love that too. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's see if we have any other questions. How can we be part of the academy? I think we answered that.
Yeah. Email info@styledesign.com.
Okay, can you share more about breaking into luxury real estate in a new area and how your business has grown?
Yeah, so I moved to Naples, Florida 10 years ago, not knowing a soul, and I think I've sold about 1.4 billion here since. And I will say what happens is, so not knowing anyone and coming here, the most important thing that I did is network. I networked with business owners. I got involved in the chamber. I got involved with other business owners that I knew had higher net worth, right? I also made sure I really networked myself with my lead generation sources, which were divorce attorneys, wealth advisors. I got involved in the the group that helps doctors relocate into town, because the goal was, you always say your net worth matches your net worth, right? So if your network is not what you want your net worth to be, you need to find that network, right? And so for me, not knowing anyone, that's what I did, is I really focused on getting myself very networked in to the areas that I knew that the price point I wanted to get into. And now I want to preface though, I did the same thing in Texas, and in Texas, the average price point is much lower than Naples. And I became the ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce, and I would go to every single ribbon cutting of every new business that opened. And that's how I really, in my early 20s, started selling luxury real estate, is because I was perceived, at the time I didn't believe it because my confidence wasn't there, as a leader within my community, right? So look at yourself and say, am I a leader in my community? And am I doing the things to show other people that I'm a leader? And that's really important if you want to break into the luxury space.
Heather, was that a position that you created, or that it was there and you got the
Yeah.
position?
Yeah, no. So to become an ambassador for your chamber, basically you just got to show up and you got to be consistent, and you've got to show them that, I didn't get like voted in or anything like that. I just volunteered, and I would go every single like Wednesday morning at 7:45, and I would pitch, my 30-second pitch of who I am and what's my value. And then I would just go to every networking opportunity I could within my city, and then show up at every ribbon cutting.
You got a
Yeah.
lot of energy.
Yeah,
All right.
that's how I met my husband, though. So it worked.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You were networking for more than business.
I did. Mission accomplished.
Good job. So Madeline is asking, with all that you manage, how do you avoid burnout?
Yeah. So, it's interesting that you asked that, because this morning I felt super overwhelmed. Full transparency. I got I got asked to meet with the CEO of realtor.com and also Shark Tank all in the same week. So to
Wow.
prepare all of that this week, my heart is like, overwhelmed. I would say how I manage stress is I work out. Honestly, like I feel like I was stressed this morning because I didn't get a chance to go to the gym. So for me, managing my stress is also, I have more energy when I focus on myself. I take me time and I exercise. That's how I manage it all. And I have great leverage. I have an incredible staff on all my different companies. But the only way to have incredible staff is to be an authentic leader and speak truth all the time. So the good, the bad, the ugly, the love, all the things, right?
Yeah, good feedback, good advice. The workout, we have to maintain ourselves first, right?
Yeah.
We're not
I
good
didn't
to
go to the gym
anybody.
today, and I feel it. It's like, I should have just gone. But I
Yeah.
was trying to put the pitch together for Shark Tank because they need it today. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll
Wow.
get it. I promise.
Well, I felt honored that you took time for our Zoom today with all that you have going on.
Of course.
So somebody is asking, how is the Academy membership different from Style to Design membership?
Yeah, so it's actually going to be all enrolled into one. So with the launch of the first, the membership comes with the Academy. So if you're looking online at Style Design right now and you see the single membership for $49, that also includes the Academy.
Perfect.
So one of the things that I realized is that you can have this incredible tool, but if you don't have all the means on how to execute it and know how to use it, you're going to fall short on it. And so I built the Academy. Not me, my team, we built the Academy for the agents to be able to execute a high level, and it breaks it down every day. So like, here's week 1, here's your 5 days, here's your tasks to do. And there's a video of myself or Jess, who's my director of marketing, on how to execute all of those tasks.
Awesome. Somebody's asking if there's any way to look at what the service is prior to Monday. Like, do you have anything that they can review?
Yeah. So like the actual Academy itself, or here's what I would do. I'm going to go ahead and put the demo link for you to register for a demo on the site. if you want a sneak peek prior to Monday, just because I don't want to take all of the time of doing that. So I'm going to send you guys the link on our chat button to book a demo, and you can see all the back end of everything of what you would get.
Very cool. And somebody
Yeah.
asked, is it month to month? I think the answer was yes to that.
Yeah, we do have a 3-month commitment. And then after that is month to month.
Awesome. And I want to say that Kimberly Barrow, she gave you a really nice shout out here that the platform has helped her to secure additional listings. The mastermind time that she gets with members and Heather is worth every penny.
Oh, I love Kimberly. She's a rock
Aw.
star.
Got a
Thank
nice
you.
shout out there.
I appreciate that. You're wonderful. She has an incredible, she has Debbie in her market center, who's actually, she was an agent and now is pivoted to mainly doing mostly style to design. She launched her own interior design and staging company. Now she's supporting the agents in the market center. So she's launched a whole business off of this. It's been pretty incredible to see her do it in the last year.
Well, that's
Yeah.
got to feel good watching people just take this and run.
Oh, it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. So Nancy asked, how do we invest before it hits Shark Tank? I love that. So it's funny, I'm actually not going for capital. I'm only going for leverage. I 100% own the company and I don't need an investor, but thank you for that offer. I'm literally looking, I want Barbara. So I'm going after to get, I need doors to open as far as the tech side. And so I'm going in strictly for that. I know I love Barbara too. So that's the focus. It's not for the investment capital.
Well, I can't wait to see the show. Do you have any idea when it'll actually air?
I don't. So it's actually in Miami. I don't know if you know that. Damon is hosting it. It is their VIP invite only. So you have to be a friend of a shark. I'm not the friend, but someone that's one of the shark's friends saw my pitch and they nominated me. And so they reserved me a spot. So it's their VIP event. And then I think from there, I don't know the back ends of it because obviously this all just happened very quickly for me. But I believe if I'm prepared, they want me to prepare to get an offer that night. If or also be invited to go on the show.
Okay.
So I'm supposed to be camera ready. So I don't know if they're recording it there. I really know like nothing. I just know I have to sign my life away and I have to create a beautiful pitch and give them all my financial numbers by today.
Wow. Well, good luck. I'm excited.
Thank
I hope
you.
that you end up on the show so that we can see it all unfold. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Awesome. All right. We have probably one more question. If anybody's got one more question for Heather, this is your moment.
Is each home a separate cost? Are you talking about image or home? So it's not related on home. It's just like as an individual agent, you have a monthly subscription fee. It's not based off per house. We do have a cost per image on the renderings. So those are usually about $45 and it goes up to $99 depending on what it is that needs to be done for the house. And that's per image, and that comes with the design board and and where you can do the affiliate links to earn revenue.
So if you have 50 images, you would have $2,500 about, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what I would want to do is, I don't think you would need all 50 because a lot of the rooms are combined into additional spaces. So like say, for instance, in the kitchen, you see the breakfast nook, the family room, and the entrance foyer. We will design all of those spaces in one image for one cost. Does that make sense? So even if you need to do like a kitchen renovation and we're like opening up a wall, yeah, we'll even go ahead and design the full kitchen renovation and the family room, the breakfast nook, whatever we see is included in that one charge. It's not additional charges. So a renovation is actually great. It's very cost effective because you get the staging and the renovation for $99. You get all of it. And that includes decluttering, it includes everything that you need.
For the whole house or for each image?
Yeah, so say for instance, you're doing a kitchen renovation and you decide it's a galley kitchen and you want to open up the kitchen and make it open concept. We will do that in our renovation rendering, and then we'll also go ahead and stage based off our design boards all the spaces that you see in addition to opening up that galley kitchen to a family room. Like if then you see the breakfast nook, we'll design all of those spaces for you for just one cost. And a renovation of that is at $99.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Heather, if you're not renovating, but you're just staging, is there?
45.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Are agents paying or sellers for each image? It really depends. That's why I created and trained on menu of services and tiered commission approach. So I have, if you do the pre-registration, you'll get that training and the templates for it. So based off of how you want to pitch it in your presentation will be dependent on how you want to charge the client for it.
Flexibility.
Yes,
I love it.
absolutely.
All right. Well, Heather, I want to be respectful of your time because you have Shark Tank to prepare for, Realtor.com to prepare for, but I
Yes.
really appreciate you taking the time to be with
Thank
us today.
Yes,
I know
thank you so much for having me.
it was like precious minutes of your day. So I appreciate that. And I love
it.
that you joined us. And I'm sure you're going to hear from a lot of these people. So good
Awesome.
luck with your pitch. And
you.
I can't wait to hear.
Appreciate it. Have a great day. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.